Happy spring, everyone. Here we are this time of year again and wanting to know what we need to do in the yard. Well, let's get after it and talk about some of the activities that we should be doing to start this spring season off. Number one is when we clean our lawn up this spring, let's go out and get after it and make sure that when you're doing it, the lawn is ready for you. In the past, I've had times when people call me and say I left ruts in the yard, and I know that we're very dry this spring, but like when we get this little bit of snow, it's just enough moisture that if you go across there with a little bit heavier mower, you could leave a little indent in those areas. Can we get that back? Usually not. It's there to stay and acts kind of like night crawlers would with the effect of the bumpiness. So let's make sure the yard is nice and firm when we get out and do our activity. When we're looking at some of the other activities that happen in our lawn, time to sprinkle on some grass seed on those areas that are needing some help of rejuvenating that process. I really encourage you to go out and spread a pound of grass seed over about 1,000 square feet. That's 10 by 100. And what it'll do is some of that grass that needs to be rejuvenated, this new grass will come in and fill that area in. And if you have something like a light rake that you can pull behind a mower, or if your area isn't so big, kind of just gently ruffle it into the all the mulch that was left there from last year. Mother Nature will help take care of that. It's not necessary to water it unless you want to water your normal grass, but throughout the summer season, that grass seed will eventually germinate and start filling in areas with some new grass seed. When we talk about grass seed, remember Kentucky bluegrass, creeping fescue, and perennial ryegrass. And perennial ryegrass are the three grasses of choice. There's different species of each of those, particularly the Kentucky blue. If you look at a bag of seed, you'll notice that there's several different species within the Kentucky bluegrass, but all of them should do quite fine for our area. So again, about 1,000 square feet, and that'll help you get that part rejuvenated. Well, then when we're in that same process, we also get a lot of questions, should we plug our yard? And what plugging means is there's a tool that'll go along and actually pull tiny little plugs out of your soil profile. And what that does is help aerate the soil. Does it need to be done every year? No. But if we do it every 2 to 3 years, that would help be beneficial for that grass stand. And then at that same time, we could also put on some fertilizer. Fertilizers to use would be something common of like a 10-10-10, and I've talked about this past many years, but remember that the first number is nitrogen, the second number is phosphorus, and the third number is potash. The one we need really the most is nitrogen, as our soil typically is quite high in phosphorus and potash. Another one to add is ammonium sulfate, which is sulfur to the soil. Our soils are quite high in pH, and a lot of our grasses and trees show that is a problem. So adding some sulfate or some iron to the soil to help free up the iron that's in the soil is very beneficial for that lawn. So we got some activities to do now. We get to go out and clean it up a little bit. We can plug it, we can rake it, we can aerate it some, we can put some new grass seed down. Remember, when you're putting the grass seed down, do not put it on until those plugs are filled up. Grass seed top 1/8 of an inch of that soil profile, and if you do a plug, that plug will likely be down 1/2 to an inch. So don't put it down any deeper, or your benefit of planting that grass won't happen. And then let's get busy and give it a good watering. You know, we talk about watering this year for lots of different things, but this year in the watering in the lawn could be a little more critical if you want nice green grass throughout the growing season. So remember, an inch of water a week is what our lawn needs. And if you got several trees growing in your lawn, the same thing holds true. They also are absorbing some of that moisture. So you may need to put on maybe an inch of water a week just to get by with all the different species of plants that you do have growing in that soil profile. Lastly, with the lawn, make sure throughout the summer season when it's really dry like this, don't be mowing it short. Leave that 2.5 to 3 inch stubble. I know everybody always says, I don't like doing that because it looks like I didn't do anything. Well, trust me, your grass will appreciate you more than you know if you leave it that tall, because it helps shade the ground and keep that soil moisture there, keeps the plant roots cooler, and will be much more comfortable throughout the growing season. So there's your tips for today on the lawn part of the garden. May everybody have a happy spring. Keep looking on our county website. I will post these particular radio clips on our website called Bill's Jazz. I'm also going to use these on the radio. So if you hear them and you want to hear it again, go to our county extension website